Mark Millar has really stirred up the cancel pigs. They are oinking at levels I haven't seen since your boy Zach first came on the scene in 2017. Mark Waid just lost it last night. He is, of course, writing for DC Comics, even still, and he is one of the biggest, most vile cancel pigs out there. If you remember, back to the lore, that he actually tried to get Jawbreaker's Lost Soul, your boy Zach's book, the first one that he came out with once all this was starting out, canceled, and actually succeeded in doing so. It resulted in a tortious interference lawsuit, but it's getting crazier out there. Let's get into the news. If you're new to the channel, my name is John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling author, an award-winning comic creator. This is my top grift, and it's not a grift. It is something that's a statement against cancel pigs. It's a really good story. And of course, I have art inside by Injustice artist Mike S. Millar, who's been canceled by the industry. And this was actually canceled by Kickstarter, too. So people's tirades led to us not being able to get our book seen. It's on Fund My Comic right now, and I would love for you to back this. We have just one day left, and it's going to be awesome. This book's going to deliver in the next couple months because we are already done with it, and we appreciate you for supporting our comic book work, which is way better than anything Mark Waid's coming out with these days. I got to tell you, Mark, I know you're going to watch this. Thanks very much. All right, Mark Waid threatens to burn down the comic industry in tantrum over Mark Millar. Wow, this is absolutely crazy. So as we know, Mark Millar is talking about what needs to be done to save the comic industry. He's been going on this for about a couple months, and he amplified a retailer, Glenn O'Leary, who posted a video saying that these people were putting in bad self-insert characters. They're not honoring the characters that people actually want to read stories of. They've just torn everything down. What was unsaid is it's all because of the leftist identity politics of people like Mark Waid, who have just inserted these rants on politics into these books about like Spider-Man beating up Dr. Octopus. It's like, why? Just let us have fun and let us not have to deal with the fact that you're triggered over the fact that Donald Trump exists for the last 8 years. It's absolutely crazy. So this is what they do. And of course, they cancel anybody who runs afoul of them. Now Mark Millar is in their sights, and Waid goes crazy here. Here's this little rant here. Like a falling star rocketing across the sky. They always talk like this, like they're freaking Bond villains. Like they can't just like say what they mean. They have to do these passive-aggressive, flowery, gay little rants every single time. Another former comic superstar whose heat is fading chooses to cry for attention by blaming the industry, his peers, and audience rather than taking stock of his own professional progress, admitting we are often the authors of our own fate, finding the courage to reinvent himself and stay relevant. It's really not that hard. By the way, the only thing that Mark Waid's doing these days is making like knockoffs of his Kingdom Come. He did like a sequel of it for DC Comics because like none of his own personal IP shit sells. This is, by the way, just a total self-own. This is what Mark Waid and the cancel pigs do over and over again. Mark Millar actually has transcended the comic industry. He works for Netflix. Netflix bought his personal IPs. They've made multiple of them into TV shows and even more are option for it. So he's doing fine. Mark Millar is the opposite of Mark Waid, who is trying to grasp onto his fleeting attention from his stuff that he used to do in the 80s and 90s, which was good. And now, unfortunately, Mark Waid is just trying to rehash the same old fan fiction IPs and destroying stuff that he's done over the last several years. That's where it is. My star's not going to burn forever. It's already done, bro. No one's does. Accepting that fact gracefully is a sign of emotional maturity, i.e. his books aren't selling. But if I ever become that guy, every single one of you has my permission to slap me upside the head and force me to reread the above paragraph many times for it to sink in. So here it is. This is what they do. They passive-aggressively don't name people, right? And they don't say Mark Millar. Because that way, when Mark Millar goes, "What the hell are you talking about, bro?" In response, they go, "Oh, so you do identify with this." This is how they straw man you. It's such a really, really, really feminine way of being. It's passive aggressive. Mark Waid is known for this, and it's just awful. He calls Mark Millar a douche later on in what he goes off about, but that's not actually the craziest part here. So here he goes off. Now, by the way, men, there's a few things I always tell men never to start their posts with because of the way women do things. Sigh. You never do that. You never do whelp, because that's pretty effeminate too. And never do "so you're saying," because that's a effeminate thing too. And Mark Waid, of course, loves to do all of these things. All this complains about how comics are dying because familiar characters are being written out of character. So he admits this by people who want to self-insert their own political causes or turn them into SJW mouthpieces. But not single one legitimate example given. No matter what it is, it's never going to be a legitimate example, and that's how they do things. That's the bar they move. What's legitimate? If you point out something that's awful, like Nightwing or not Nightwing, Nightcrawler being given birth to by lesbians out of their butt. Yes, that actually happened in X-Men. They go, oh, that's not a legitimate example. That's the funny thing. Superman? Superman's been turned gay, Mark. What's going on? Batman actually is implied that he's pansexual in the recent Jason Aaron comic. And of course, Robin has been turned bisexual as well. Green Lantern. Yes, they just made the gay Green Lantern, and it didn't sell very well at all. Flash is being written into the ground by Cy Spurrier in this completely unreadable thing. Wonder Woman is a completely right now. Tom King is doing this rant about Trump and having the shadow government who tells untruths. It's ridiculous. Spider-Man made a deal with the devil. I can go on and on. Every single one of his examples have been somebody who's been turned into an SJW and destroyed. Every single one. And that's where it goes. But it goes even crazier. So this is the one that I was shocked. And he just says, I think a lot of us would rather see the industry burn down than get together with the alt-right. It shows how unhinged these people are. Mark, of course, calls anybody who disagrees with him politically alt-right, and it makes him look like a nutcase online, just like all this stuff does. And that's the problem. It's just no matter what, Mark is going to dig his heels in the sand and throw a complete fit about anybody who disagrees with him in the slightest and would never get together with them. In fact, he'll try to torch and torpedo their careers like he's doing Mark Millar right now. Now, Mark Millar's not alt-right. Mark Millar is a self-avowed leftist socialist. So he's just seeing that there's problems in the way that comics are being created and that they're being destroyed and that comic shop owners are losing their businesses and losing their livelihoods as a consequence. It's really sad. And it's really sad that Mark Waid, rather than actually trying to help out, trying to write good stories, trying to band together with people like myself, people like Mark Millar, would rather just burn the industry down. This is exactly what he's attempting to do. And this is, by the way, the whole cause, the Whisper Network, all these people are attempting to burn the industry down. They're doing it intentionally and gleefully cheering and singing as Rome burns. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit that like and subscribe button, my friends, and make sure to back Top Griff before it's gone. We need your support for good comics, guys. This is the alternative right here, and it's going to be awesome. Thank you for being there.